Are you one of those anti-LGBTQ normies? Are you one of those freaks that believe there's only two genders, a man and a woman? Are you one of those bizarre anti-science retards who just happens to think that maybe it's a mental disorder to believe that people should not go chopping off their bits and tits? Well, if you are, a pad manufacturer is here to remind you that you are not only insane, but you're stupid. There's more than two genders. Duh. Commercial for Always Woman pads confuses viewers, features persons who appear to be a man. Well, ain't that just the way it goes in today's world? Happy Women's Month! Here's a man to steal everything that you as a woman should be valued for. Here's a man to take the place of you because he too can have a baby, but unfortunately is barren due to certain biological factors that have nothing to do with him being a man. Yeah, here's a man to take everything from you, a woman, because he is a woman because he says he is, or because he tried to turn himself into one. Anyways, let's get into this nonsense. Oh, barf. Shit. That's bad. No two bodies are the same. There's more than two genders, though, isn't there? Now, they got that right, because no two bodies are the same. I could walk down a street and see a woman cracking the sidewalk as she's taking every god-awful step, and then I could see somebody really fit in shape running and barely making a sound. But then you got the Richter scale going off with the other one. So they got that part right. No two bodies are the same. Okay. I'm done with my rant. A recent commercial for Always Pad brand. A recent commercial for the Always brand of women's pads features someone who appears to be a man, leaving viewers confused about the advertisement for menstruation product. But here's the thing. They tell you to trust the science, but they never will trust the science when it comes to this and some other topics, like COVID. Now, they will tell you that science says that a woman can be anything because they can't define a woman. And a man can be a woman because they can't define a woman. And a man can get pregnant just because he says he's a woman because, again, you cannot define a woman. But when that man never gets pregnant naturally, by natural means, because it's impossible, they will just claim that he's barren because that happens to real women, right? Now, there is a college here in Pennsylvania, out towards Pittsburgh, that is going to implant a man with a fetus and then claim, woohoo, you did it, good for you, bravo. Yeah, okay. I think it will tear up his insides, I mean, because we're not built the same. But that's science, that's biology, sorry. Anyways, a 15-second promotion for Always Infinity pads with Flex Foam features either a man or transgender man in its commercial in support of all bodies. Well, aren't you just fucking manipulative, Always brand pads? Because you know you'll make more sales to these transgender freaks who think they're really bleeding. Meanwhile, they're squirting ketchup down their fucking panties just to try to feel like it's truly happening. It's a mental disorder, that's for sure. But I'll tell you, it's kind of a smart move and yet stupid. It's more of a moral mistake, but it's smart and stupid because you are going to push off a good base of your women buyers, and then for all we know, CEO of Daily Wire is now going to start some kind of feminine product line and do quite well, because real women who don't believe in this nonsense are not going to want this crap. They're not going to want to buy something that some fat fuck man is shoving down his, what is it now, a dick hole? Like, quite literally, because they spliced it and shoved it, inverted it. So I guess it probably is like a dick hole now. Yeah, they're not going to want to buy that. No two bodies are the same. Some pads got that message. Or sorry, some pads never got that message. The commercial begins before promoting that the product fits all bodies. Well, so does a straitjacket. But audiences are unable to pinpoint whether the actor in question is indeed a man or a biological woman posing as a man. And that is important, the word biological, because biological tends to indicate that you were born as, and you haven't manipulated yourself into being an imposter to that sex, that gender. But again, I'm just one of those, I don't even know all the words they use for it. They got so many. Sexist, anti-LGBTQ, I'm a bigot, this, whatever. Anyways, a Reddit thread titled Always Flex Floam. Do men use these? Well, naturally, no. Not normal fucking men. We have no need for them. But these coddled imbeciles who seem to believe that they can bleed just like women and have gone ahead and either cut off their bits and inverted them, or they are in the process of getting comfortable with the idea of being a woman, yes, they will use them. Because they have psychiatrists and doctors enforcing the fact that whatever they believe in their fairy tale fucked up mind can be a reality. This isn't an inclusivity thing. This is you're a biological man and have no need for this product thing, the caption adds. And yes, whoever wrote that, you got that right, but you are now labeled a terrorist on the FBI's most wanted list. Guarantee that. And of course, this is a private list. They don't list that on their actual website, but guarantee every conservative or alt-right thinker, you are in there. Well, I'm in there. Yeah. Alex Jones, every other person that dares to speak out is in there. Are you referring to the person in the purple shirt? Is that just a tall, gangly female? Gangly female, yeah. Oh, the comment ask. God, I love some of these people that are online. It's absolutely great. Gangly. I haven't heard that one in a while. She's pretty fucking ugly, I'll tell you that. It's pretty clear that a biological woman who identifies as a man was cast in this commercial for the sake of inclusion. A reporter and writer for on women's issues, Natasha Bass. Interestingly, the cast-in choice admits that only women can get their period, she adds. Now, we don't really know for certain that it is a woman who posing as a man. It kind of, if that is, holy shit. I'm glad she is whatever she is now, because no man would have ever boinked her. That's probably why she's now pretending to be a man. Because it would make more sense, because she looks like one. Anyways, a Twitter user took a different perspective, however, criticizing the ad because the company hasn't gotten the fucking message that not everyone menstruates. Or sorry, who menstruates as a woman? So, okay, that comment's fucking stupid. Because men cannot menstruate, it doesn't matter what they fucking do to their bodies. They will never biologically menstruate. And if there is some kind of invention that they can implant in the body that every 30 days gives them a little trickle of blood, or some kind of synthetic blood, no, it's not the same. And in fact, just turn the switch to off, because it's weird and you're not normal. Okay? Alright, are we getting that message, please? Thank you. Alright. Maybe take the you go girl shit off your pads and then get back to me. It continues. Well, okay. I'm not going to read all these fucking comments. The point is, it's fucking weird. It's stupid. These are not real women. They are not menstruating the same if they're not just squirting ketchup down their pants. They will never be the same. But anyways, viewers are pissed off. People who actually buy that product are irritated, and they're getting irritated more and more. People don't want men on their swimming team. People don't want to be losing a trophy in a woman's sport to a man. They don't want to be taking their kids into a dressing room where men are. They don't want to be using a bathroom where men are. Get it through your head. People don't want this weird, demonic, perverted shit.
No two bodies are the same. Some pads never got that message, but Always Flex Foam did. It protects against different flows for up to 0 leaks, and it flexes to fit all bodies for up to 0 feel. Feel it yourself with Always Flex Foam.
Ooh, making noise. Texas Tech suspends basketball coach, says he used Bible verses about slaves serving their masters. Later apologized, but coach tells a different story. The real problem is, and I haven't even read this story, but the real problem is that he used Bible verses. And they're just trying to correlate Bibles with slavery, the word of Jesus Christ with slavery, because they hate religion. They hate Jesus. After all, Yuval Noah Harari says Jesus was just a nobody carpenter that didn't really exist. How can he both exist and be nobody and a carpenter but then not exist at all? It doesn't make any damn sense. They just hate him that much. Tells you a lot. Should tell you Jesus is real if they have that much hatred for somebody, right? Texas Tech University has suspended men's basketball coach Mark Adams over interaction with player, Yahoo Sports reported. On Friday, Director of Athletics Kirby Hocutt was made aware of an incident regarding a coach session between Adam and a member of the men's basketball team, probably a black male with the way this is going. The school said in a statement, according to the outlet, Adams was encouraging the student athlete to be more receptive to coaching and referenced Bible verses about workers, teachers, parents, and slaves serving their masters. Adams immediately addressed this with his team and apologized. Upon learning of the incident, Hocutt addressed this matter with Adams and issued him a written reprimand. Hocutt subsequently made this matter with Adams... skipping backwards. Let me go back to the proper sentence. Hocutt subsequently made the decision to suspend Adams, effective immediately, in order to conduct a more thorough inquiry of Adams' interactions with this player. But Adams told a little bit of a different story to Stadium, a sports network. The coach told Stadium his comments were not racist and that he was quoting a Bible verse when he told the player, always a master and a servant. Okay? I see where he was going with this, right? So in the theological sense, he's referencing basketball, the coaching aspect, as being the master of the team. He is the one given the direction, and the player in this sense is the servant. Okay, he's making a correlation between the Bible and the current day activity. The coach added to Stadium, I said that in the Bible, Jesus talks about how we all have bosses and we are all servants. I was quoting the Bible about that. And that is the real problem, that he quoted the Bible. That is no longer allowed. And one of these days, we very well might have a situation where anything religious will land you in some kind of re-education camp. Make no doubt about that. Don't brush that off. That very well might happen if we don't get Democrats out of the White House in 2024, if the election isn't stolen. Stadium also reported that sources said a staff member notified Hocutt of the situation late last week, and that Hocutt reached out to the player's family. Of course, how dare he quote the Bible? How dare somebody have to have their ears assaulted who's an atheist, that someone else might dare believe in the Bible? Because in this day and age, you are only allowed to believe the common narrative put forth by the Democratic Party, by the Communist Party. That is all you're allowed to believe. You're not allowed to have religion anymore. You're not allowed to have beliefs that separate themselves from the narrative. And that is leading us up to a global event that is absolutely going to suck. We are all going to have to make a choice. Are we going to go along with their evil agenda, or are we going to stand and fight? And whether I mean literally or figuratively, I will leave that up to you, because I'm not going to tell you. The Blaze on Monday asked Texas Tech whether Adams used the words slave or slaves in his interaction with the player, and whether Adams disclosed to the college a specific Bible verse or verses he was using. Texas Tech obviously did not respond to the questions by publication time on Monday. And of course they didn't. They don't want to tell you, because that would absolutely destroy their case, their story. They have nothing of value to add because everything they're saying is a lie, and they're using it as an excuse to get rid of a conservative coach in their school. But yeah, that's absolutely great. Carlson says January 6th footage demolishes claims of insurrection, as we all knew it would. Why else would they keep it a secret? All this silly shit, this silly nonsense about insurrection, let's put on a big show. Yeah, it's all bullshit. So, on Monday night's episode of his show on the Fox News channel, conservative commentator Tucker Carlson aired some of the surveillance footage from the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy obviously granted Tucker Carlson access to thousands and thousands of hours of this footage. While media outlets and Democrats and some Republicans have described the events of January 6 as an insurrection, and those Republicans are rhinos, Tucker Carlson asserted that the footage demolishes that claim. And of course, again, as we all knew, as we all on the alt-right knew, the ones with common sense, the ones who also believe that there are only two genders. We, the normal ones, we already knew this. Some of the footage shows police officers near Jacob Chansley, widely referred to as QAnon, whose images have become ubiquitous with the wake of January 6th episode. He was arrested on January 9th, according to the Justice Department. Carlson also aired footage showing officers Brian Schicknick, whoops, but he probably is a shit, walking into the Capitol, and Tucker claimed that the January 6th committee had been aware that the man had been walking normally after he was supposedly murdered by Trump supporters. Yeah. So, on the heels of the January 6th episode, the House voted to impeach then-President Donald Trump. The Senate did not vote on the matter until Trump had already departed from office, but when they did vote, Trump was acquitted, and a number of senators who voted to convict fell below the threshold necessary for conviction. So let's watch this little clip of Tucker Carlson, and let's see what he has to say. He's a very good commentator on this and many other matters.
These are the pictures you've seen of January 6th. They're familiar because they've been playing on a loop on every media outlet in America for the last 2 years. There's a reason for that. But it turns out there's quite a bit of video you haven't seen. And that video tells a very different story about what happened on January 6th. More than 40,000 hours of surveillance footage from in and around the Capitol have been withheld from the public. And once you see the video, you'll understand why. Taken as a whole, the video record does not support the claim that January 6th was an insurrection. In fact, it demolishes that claim. And that's exactly why the Democratic Party and its allies in the media prevented you from seeing it. By controlling the images you were allowed to view from January 6th, they controlled how the public understood that day. They could lie about what happened, and you would never know the difference. Those lies had a purpose. They created a pretext for a federal crackdown on opponents of the Uniparty in Washington.
Our office wanted to ensure that there was shock and awe, that we could charge as many people as possible.
The first thing you notice from viewing the full video record of January 6th is just how many people entered the Capitol building that day. Hundreds and hundreds of people, possibly thousands, over the course of about 2 hours. The crowd was enormous. A small percentage of them were hooligans. They committed vandalism. You've seen their pictures again and again. But the overwhelming majority weren't. They were peaceful, they were orderly and meek. These were not insurrectionists, they were sightseers. Footage from inside the Capitol overturns the story you've heard about January 6th. Protesters queue up in neat little lines. They give each other tours outside the Speaker's office. They take cheerful selfies and they smile. They're not destroying the Capitol, they obviously revere the Capitol. They're there because they believe the election was stolen from them. They believe in the system. Here's the man you've heard referred to as the QAnon shaman outside the Senate chamber. These are not rioters. These are people who wandered over from a political rally.
We will not let them silence your voices.
After the rally, they walked down Pennsylvania Avenue, where organizers had secured a federal permit to hold a legal rally on the grounds of the Capitol.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Once at the Capitol building, things began to get chaotic. Capitol police officers fired tear gas into the crowd. A few at the front of the herd broke windows. Someone opened the doors, and many hundreds of others just walked in.
They're going to make that the story.
Of course, they did make it the story. And at the center of it, the single most famous person arrested that day was a Navy veteran from Arizona called Jacob Chansley, often referred to as the QAnon shaman.
The so-called QAnon shaman. QAnon shaman.
Someone named Q Shaman.
Jacob Chansley became the face of January 6th, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us in this building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th, the indisputable facts recorded on video, some of which has never before been seen, with the depiction of Jacob Chansley that you've seen in the media for more than 2 years. He's a terrorist, they said. He should be killed.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Like, you burst into the United States, if he was dressed like bin Laden, would you have shot him?
Shoot him. Shoot him. It makes you wonder, who are the violent extremists here? Not Jacob Chansley, and the video proves that. But you would never have known from the media coverage.
The people sitting in the chairs need to be sitting in a jail cell.
Chansley is in a jail cell. He's been there for months. If he was in fact committing such a grave crime, why didn't the officers who were standing right next to him place him under arrest? Until now, no one could even prove that even happened. But it did.
4 Americans missing in Mexico after being held at gunpoint. Kidnapped. FBI says probably kidnapped by some kind of FBI insurgents. 4 U.S. citizens who crossed into Mexico, and I should point out this story is from yesterday, March 6th, who crossed into Mexico from Texas are missing after being assaulted and kidnapped by unidentified gunmen, FBI officials said on March 5th. How does the FBI know that? They were probably 4 conservatives, 4 Christians, and sadly they probably didn't have body armor or rifles like they should have, or at least a sidearm. Unknown assailants in northeastern Mexican city of Matamoros, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, I really don't give a shit, violently kidnapped at gunpoint. Yeah, that's great. Oh, look, so we have 4 Americans violently kidnapped at gunpoint, in which one Mexican national was tragically killed. U.S. Ambassador to Mexico Ken Salazar said in a statement. Okay. Our government says, okay, now let's reference the Afghanistan withdrawal. Our government, who left countless Americans behind who are probably now dead, or at least suffering greatly. Our government, who did that and left billions of dollars of equipment, says we have no greater priority than the safety of our citizens. This is the U.S. government's most fundamental role. U.S. law enforcement officials from numerous agencies are working with the Mexican authorities at all levels of government to secure the safe return of our compatriots. Wow. Really? That's so strange. I don't believe you. I think you're a liar. Yeah. Let's go with that. Okay. FBI is offering a whopping $50,000 reward for the return of the unidentified kidnapped victims. I would like to know if they were black. Okay, maybe there's a current example. Drop it in the comments if there is, on whatever platform you're watching this on. But I would like to know if this person was black, would the reward be a measly 50 grand? And maybe there's an offer, and that was posted previously by the FBI for the obtainment of a white assailant that did something or murdered or kidnapped a black. I would like to know. Yeah, but they're offering a $50,000 reward for the return of the kidnapped victims. The 4 Americans entered into Mexico in a white minivan. That's weird. With North Carolina license plates, the vehicle came under fire soon after it entered into Mexico. Okay, so I don't know, white minivan going into Mexico on the open border, a little strange. All 4 Americans were placed in a vehicle and taken from the scene by armed men. Gosh damn. If you're gonna do that, go with some rifles. Go with some body armor. By the way, Spartan Body Armor, they're not a sponsor, but Spartan Body Armor, I have some beautiful AR-550 curved plates with the anti-frag coating, and my goodness, that is some awesome stuff. I love it. Okay, but yeah, that's enough of that one. If you're going to go into Mexico, don't be retarded. Take some self-defense measures, okay? Yeah. Hey, anybody who uses eye drops, okay, I do. I use like off the shelf eye drops. I get dry eye, and sometimes it feels like I got a cyst or something inside of there. But anybody who does use eye drops, FDA notice eye drops recalled over contamination that could result in blindness. Holy crap, that's not something you want. I wonder if that was done on purpose. Or they fucking like put like pink eye contamination in this shit? Like some kind of hybrid. Some scientists scratching their asshole and then they're, you know, swirling their finger around inside of the batch of eye drops. Oh, I'm so stupid. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration issued a notice that more eye drops are being recalled worldwide because of the possible bacterial contamination. Pharmedica USA LLC voluntarily recalling 2 lots of his purely soothing 15% MSM drops due to non-sterility problems. Okay, something's definitely going on there, something weird. Yeah, but basically, anything produced by them, don't use it. You're going to go blind.